What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to another episode of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast. This is the April 2017 Mailbag, where we're going to be answering the questions that you guys submitted over the past couple of weeks since we did the last one. So thank you all for sending those in. We got a couple of different ones from a couple of different people here. We're going to be breaking them down one by one. And who are the people that are going to be breaking it down? Well, I am your host as always, Tony Mango, and joining me on the mic for this episode is Kaylin Ferris.
Hey, what's happening? I'd like you to know that I am a pro wrestling fanboy.
For those who don't know, this is the second time we're starting to record this because I'm mentally in my podcast for tomorrow. So if you hear the Guardians of the Galaxy podcast tomorrow and it starts off with, "What's up, wrestling fans?" then you can kind of get the joke twofold. Also joining us on the mic is Angie Williams.
Hello. I was so afraid I was going to be the one to mess it up today.
No, it's always Tony's fault. So let's start breaking these down here. And the first question is not going to really be answered the way that it was asked because it's too kind of crazy. So I'm going to change it on guest 5. His original question was, if you were the president of the United States of America, which, by the way, the country would be far better off if that were the case, because, you know, big league great. And you had to pick your cabinet from the folk involved with the Smark Out Moment and Fanboys crew, not just the YouTube channel. Who would you choose to be in the key positions? Vice President, Chief of Staff, Press Secretary, Attorney General, etc., etc. I don't even know what half of this shit is. So, like, the Attorney General to me, in my mind, has always been just like a lawyer in a military fatigue kind of costume. And I know that can't be true. So, I don't know. I figured I would change the question a little bit because that's a hard thing to do. So, more so, who do you think out of these crew members do you think would be good as a politician? Because I don't think I could trust anybody with a nuclear football.
Not Wago.
I was about to say, I'd like to see Wago as the Secretary of Defense.
No,
I'd love to see what would happen.
No, definitely not Wago.
World War IV. You just skip World War III.
Yeah, I think negotiation probably wouldn't be his strong suit.
It'd be like, we want to do trade with your country, but we don't want to spend that much money. Oh yeah? Well, your mom's a cunt.
Well, you're a fucking idiot.
I know. Tony, I think you should be president like Bush was, and then Kaylin can be Cheney and actually run the government.
I can be the puppet master.
Yes.
Well,
I think that would work out.
Fool me once.
No, I think it'd be better the other way because I could be the pretty face out front who's actually not really doing much. And Tony is a hard worker, so he could be actually doing the real work behind the scenes. And I'll just take all the credit.
He's going to be sitting there at the desk, quiet, doing all the formal stuff.
Yeah.
But you're the one who's actually out there talking, getting influence and conniving, sneaking.
Oh, I don't have that kind of energy or time.
Well, here's the question. Have you ever shot a gun before? Because I haven't. So whichever one of us is the better shot needs to be Cheney. I'm guaranteed he shot that guy for real.
Hey, so wouldn't that be the worst shot among us?
He had to have been just kind of like, come on, Phil. Like, if you don't shut up, I'm going to shoot you. And, I don't remember the guy's name. I'm assuming it's Phil. And he was probably just like singing an annoying song. And then it was like, I'm telling you, strike 2. Oh, whoops. I thought you were a quail.
Point blank range.
Right.
Now
are you not going to sing anymore? You can't because you don't have a mouth. But yeah, like, obviously Secretary of Treasury is like a money related thing. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe Payton. He's good with money, it seems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Secretary of Education, not Drew.
Yeah. Oh boy. Gosh, I don't know. That's hard to think about. That wasn't on the list of the ones that you had sent me earlier, so I didn't have time to prepare an answer for that one.
Yeah, that was a later submission. But I like everything that we're going to be talking about today. Everybody, leave your comments and tell us what your answers are for this. And if you got more time to think about it and you want to leave like the vice president, the chief of staff, and all that other kind of stuff or whatever, definitely leave your comments of who do you think would be good for that. If you know the Fanboys crew, include them in there as well. If not, then, work with the Smark Out Moment people from the past and the present, whatever like that. But I really want to know, like, who would be, like, Who do you trust as the Secretary of Defense? Do you give the codes to, like, I don't know, like Braden maybe or something? Like.
And before you all comment, yes, I know. I'll be the Secretary of Veterans Affairs because I know all about old people. I get it.
Oh. Well, now they're going to think about that.
Let's see here. We have from Wolf Jones, what happened to Shaun's Premier Pals? And I asked him about this because I wasn't actually sure the answer. He said, if I'm not in the answer for the Premier Pals question, here you go is the answer. During the second season of Premier Pals, Bruno, my dog, was diagnosed with cancer, and that bummed me out. And then a week after the last episode, he died. And I'm still pretty bummed out about it. Then I was ready to restart it back up with Brandon, but Brandon had issues with his housing situation. And now we're waiting the next football season to start before I bring it back, and it will probably be on my own. So if you guys want a single-man show, let me know in the comments below. So if you want Shaun to get back to doing the Premier Pals and stuff, even if it's just him doing himself, or maybe he's going to find some other people, or maybe Brandon will come back or whatever, then drop it in the comments below and let him know. And who was the next person here? My list is out of order. It is Howard Starr. For 2 questions that he's got. Why does growing facial hair in professional wrestling give guys an edge?
Does it?
The hair could be really sharp if it's the right length. Sticking straight out, all those little pointy edges.
Well, here's my thought about it, because I couldn't resist the pun.
Oh boy, here we go.
Adam Copeland.
Yeah, I
went
thought
by
about
the name Edge.
Yeah.
Had the facial hair. He's like a 14-time champion. So it works.
Ah.
But it does seem like a lot of people are having the facial hair and everything, especially lately. And I think it's probably just a normal trend. It's not like a wrestling trend necessarily.
It's a cultural, social trend.
Yeah, I was going to say, because
there's
it is more
a lot
common
more facial
now.
hair in this.
Well,
yeah, like the lumberjack
like
look is kind of going
pro
around
wrestling, or with general culture, pro wrestling kind of follows that. So long hair, beards, that kind of stuff. It goes in and out of fashion, but I don't really think it necessarily gives anybody an advantage, in kayfabe or, in reality. So
one person, though, I do think that actually they did get a little bit of an advantage from that was Wade Barrett.
Oh, yeah, I would say.
I mean, like, he didn't suddenly become a better performer, but, like, you could kind of take him a little bit more seriously when he had that beard.
Sure, some people, it definitely adds to their look and makes them look more...
it could be part of the character.
Yeah, makes them look more legitimate. Yeah, Wade Barrett without the beard, I think, is not nearly as intimidating. I think with the beard, he looks like much more of a formidable opponent.
Bray Wyatt couldn't be him without that beard, without that hair.
Yeah, that's true. You know what, though? I think that Braun Strowman could get rid of his, and it wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have to be that long. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, at the very least, a trim. And then we go back to the Daniel Bryan discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Rowan would look a little bit weird, but I think that he could pull it off. I think Luke Harper might be able to, too, but I haven't seen any pictures of him without a beard. But Bray Wyatt, I don't know. I think he would just sort of look like a weird indie guy without the beard.
Mm-hmm. Now, fantasy book here right now on the fly, Tony. You could book Bray Wyatt in a beard versus beard or beard versus hair match against somebody else, where somebody had to either shave their beard or their head. Who does he go against?
Let me bring up the roster real quick. I'm trying to think of somebody who would look funny bald.
Ziggler?
Nah, he's a good-looking guy. He needs to keep
I was going to say, he could get away with it.
Which, by the way, everybody, if you don't know, we are starting up the Sexiest Superstars tournament again. So if you want to vote for the qualifying round, I knocked out a good portion of a lot of different people because it was like, nobody's going to vote for Eric Rowan. Nobody's going to vote for Brock Lesnar based after the past couple of years and stuff. And we need to eliminate 28 men and 6 women. And right now, some women are like, yeah, they're definitely getting knocked out. Like Tamina, I think, has the most amount of votes. And Asuka, apparently, again, has a lot of votes, which is like, that's kind of crazy because there's like, I mean, Nia Jax is up there, or Ruby Riot's up there, which is like, that's good because she's like bottom 3 for me too. Hair versus hair match, or hair versus beard match. Apollo Crews.
Tony.
Now, you know what would be kind of funny to see, even though I don't wish it upon him? Chris Jericho bald.
Yeah. I think he could pull it off too, though.
I think he could.
I could see him wearing some kind of a weird wig because he's got like the scarf and like the jackets and whatever. He'd buy some like light up wig or whatever. And
I think he'd have a fun time with that.
I think he's on the same page as Triple H, where he can rock the long hair or the shaved head. I think he'd be able to pull it off.
Maybe Rhino would be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
I'd like to see that.
We already know that, like, some of these people, they already kind of look like that. I mean, like, Rusev, it's like, well, his head's already kind of, like, somewhat shaved, and who gives a shit about Connor? Like, Kevin Owens would be kind of funny.
You know, someday Roman Reigns is going to take the plunge and not have the long hair.
I can see that.
He'll have more of a, probably like something like Jericho has now, I'm thinking.
It's going to be a long time before that happens.
Or like when Chris Cornell cut his hair from Soundgarden. I'm thinking probably something like that.
Yeah, I could see that. Hopefully by that time he gets rid of the goddamn flak jacket too. But he's going to last a while like what he's looking like right now because women go nuts over him. And apparently men too, because he's not getting many votes to get eliminated from this tournament yet. So, I think the last time I checked it was like 68 people had voted and he had like the fourth lowest amount of votes or something. It was like Finn Balor might have been like the one that had the least amount of votes, which I can kind of get that too. But we'll talk about that all next week when we start breaking down the bracket and stuff like that. But let's see. We have another question from Howard Starr. Who was your favorite big woman in professional wrestling? Nia Jax, Kharma, Mount Fiji, or Bertha Faye? I gotta go Kharma or Awesome Kong. I really want her back in WWE.
I was never really a huge fan of her, no pun intended.
There is
fan, I get it.
I didn't mean that. Oh, yeah, fan. Nia Jax is the one that's, currently on the roster, so it's fresher in my mind. And I've said in the past, I do like her more the more I see her, but I would say the one that made the biggest impression on me is Mount Fiji, because I watched Glow in the 80s, and she was one of my favorites. I just loved how she was so much bigger than everybody, and she just kicked all their asses. And I don't know, the wrestling at the time really wasn't the greatest, but I think character-wise, she was my favorite of the four.
I will say exactly the same thing. She's someone I remember slightly from my childhood. And the others I'm not, well, Nia Jax I am. She is on the roster. The other two I'm not that familiar with.
Yeah, I wasn't watching when Bertha Faye was wrestling, so I'm not too familiar with her.
I was more familiar with her than Mount Fiji. I don't think I've ever seen anything of her. But even more than Bertha Faye, Aja Kong popped into my mind. And I remember watching her matches more. Just from like, you go to like a Blockbuster back when that existed and find like some In Your House from like 1994 or something. And there's like Aja Kong versus Alundra Blaze. And there was decent enough matches for back then because they really didn't give a shit about women's wrestling. And Bertha Faye was kind of the same sort of thing. It was just like, she's fat and she's gross, and so is Harvey Whippleman, except for he's really thin and gross. And
yeah.
The whole thing was just sort of like skeevy. I didn't really like it all that much.
Yeah, I just pulled up a nice picture of them, Harvey Whippleman and Bertha Faye.
I don't think there is a nice picture of them.
No. Well, relatively.
Out of all of them, though, Kharma or Awesome Kong or Mason Kong or whatever we're going to call her, she's the one that I think is the most talented. And it sucks that she didn't really get like a run in WWE. And I'm hoping now that they are going to do this women's tournament, maybe they can bring her back on that. Because that'd be really cool to see her just like breeze through the competition and stuff. But who knows? Maybe she doesn't want to come back, or maybe they don't want her back. Maybe it's like a health issue, or I don't fucking know. But
yeah, you never know.
For the women's tournament, I hope they do have some variety of styles of wrestling and body types, because I don't want to see, as much as I like the whole, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Becky Lynch kind of thing that they're going for now. I like to see a variety, see different matchups. So I hope
that's why I like Nia Jax so much right now.
Yeah, I like the contrast.
And I love it because they actually can't really wrestle her.
Yeah, they have to adapt their techniques.
Exactly. And then Nia Jax, she catches them in midair and just throws them around. I love seeing that.
The good thing is that they don't have any kind of a limit like they did with the Cruiserweight Classic. They were all had to be under 205. For the women's tournament, all they have to do is be women. So
yeah, I was going to say they can't have a penis. That's about it.
Well, I mean, even nowadays, it could be like, well, I identify as a woman, and then it's like, fucking issue, you know what I mean?
Well, as long as it's not hanging out.
Well, if there is a woman that wants to, that has a penis that wants to be in that, maybe she could do the Joey Ryan gimmick or something.
Maybe they'll bring back Santina.
Yeah, there you go. Can we incorporate him in that? Probably end up getting the most amount of cheers out of everybody. I'm actually excited for that tournament, though. I think it could be really good.
When is that scheduled to start again?
Sometime in the summer. They haven't specified.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was summer. I didn't know if they set a date.
I had heard one rumor that it was going to be July, but to me, it makes more sense if it's June, because if you're building towards SummerSlam, you would think that they wouldn't do it around the same time for that, and SummerSlam's always August, and like we don't really know exactly what the lineup is going into the next couple of months because they've got Payback and Backlash, and then Extreme Rules and Money in the Bank, which is a SmackDown exclusive event, which is so goddamn stupid.
That is.
And then I don't know what, because then you got like a little bit of a lull, and there's like a rumor that there's going to be another thing kind of thrown in there, and then there's a rumor of another thing, but Bad Blood was rumored. And that's like, I can't imagine them doing Bad Blood, so maybe they skip a month, maybe they just skip a pay-per-view or something, but I don't know. But I'm assuming since it's not being advertised now, late May, early June, probably. We'll see.
No idea.
Declan Macri asks us, when you were in school, did you ever witness a really good school fight? And if so, what happened? The other day, my high school, apparently some kid hit another kid with a dumbbell.
Oh.
And
nice.
Hopefully the kid's not really in bad shape or whatever. I had followed the story just like a tiny bit. It was like he was in critical condition and then he wasn't anymore. So hopefully the kid's okay, but I don't know what happened with that or whatever, and I wasn't there to see it. But all the fights that I had seen were pretty lame. Yet I just missed one that would have been really cool, and I had heard that it was good, where this one kid threw another kid through a window.
Oh, jeez.
So I went up the flight of the steps like right after it had happened, and like there was like the glass all over the place, and like everybody was like, you got to walk around and go around the other side of the the other steps to go to the other part of the building and whatever like that instead, because we don't want anybody like slipping and falling on the glass and whatever. And I was just kind of like, man, like 2 minutes earlier I would have seen this, and it would have been kind of cool to just see somebody like actually go through a window and whatever. But I didn't see anything cool. It was just people like, slapping each other and like, oh my god, they're tussling, and the fucking teacher breaks it up. And it's like, well, if you're gonna fucking fight, like, make it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Do a super kick or something, like, Did you guys ever see anything really cool?
I haven't seen anything like really memorable. I've seen people getting punched and tussling around. The worst I think I've seen is ending up with a bloody nose or something like that. But so I haven't seen anything personally, but I do have to recommend, if you haven't seen it yet, the video on YouTube. It's a very popular, famous one of, it's, a fatter kid, a boy. There's probably, I don't know, they're probably like 12 to 14 or something. And the other kid, little punk, keeps picking on him. And he's like not responding, and keeps picking on him. He just picks him up and he fucking slams him.
Yeah, that was like a year and a half ago or so, I think.
And it looks like he may have broken his leg or something, because the way his leg lands on the one part. If I'm remembering it right.
Wrecks that kid.
Oh yeah, he just picks him up. He's like, "Fuck you." And then the other kid's like, "Oh no!" It's like, well, maybe you shouldn't be a little bastard.
I know. Jeez,
like he came just short of doing the Hulk Hogan hulking up and pointing thing.
Oh, no, I went to a Catholic school, and the most I had ever seen for a physical fight, was someone getting pushed into a locker.
Oh, that's even worse.
Now, vocally and emotionally, I've seen plenty, but not an actual physical fight. I've never seen anyone get punched, nothing.
One of my favorite stories from fights in schools that I had missed, unfortunately, but it wasn't in school, it was outside of school, yet like right afterward kind of a thing. A friend of mine, I shouldn't really even say friend, an acquaintance of mine that hung around with a bunch of other friends of mine, essentially, and I was like, I don't hate this kid. He had gotten into a fight with somebody else, and apparently afterward, he asked the guy for a ride.
Oh.
Which is just sort of like... how do you go like, yeah, well, we got to the point where we want to punch each other, but also, can you give me a ride home?
Why?
How awkward would that be? It's like, so, you're bleeding, but...
silent car ride.
Are you this street or that street? Like, you know? Weird shit. I was only in one fight in school. It was in elementary school. And it was one of my closest friends. We ended up being really good friends afterward, and we were friends at the time, not like super close at the time, but he just decided that he wanted to start a fight with me, and I was just kind of like, yo, what the fuck is happening here? Like, why are you hitting me, Nick? And the teacher was like, why were you two fighting? And I'm like, I don't know, like, ask Nick. And I asked him about it like a year afterward. I was just like, so what's up with that fight we got into? And he was like, I really don't fucking know. Maybe I had like a really bad day and I just kind of hit somebody and you were the closest to me or something. But and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like, did either of us win? Like, you know, like
something like that sort of happened to me before too. I wouldn't consider it a fight. I was just attacked in school. I was in grade school and I was in the lunchroom minding my own business, eating lunch with my friends. And this kid who I'd never talked to, who was in a different class, wasn't even in my class, comes up behind me, puts his hands around my throat, and just like chokes me really hard. And I'm like, and I'm like, at first I'm just confused. I didn't know what's going on, you know, and I can't breathe. And my friends are like, what the hell? What the hell? And this went on a good 10, 15 seconds. And he's like really wringing my neck. And eventually the lunch lady came over and broke it up. And she's like, what, you know, what do you guys go back down to the, principal's office? And my friends backed me up. It's like, I didn't say a word to this kid. I don't know what the hell set him off, why he picked me. But I had never talked to him before. And so like I got taken into the principal's office. I explained what happened. And I was an honor student. She knew that.
Yeah.
And I explained exactly. I said, I don't know this guy. She took Polaroid photos of the attack. You know, my neck had like red handprints around it. Kid ended up getting expelled the next day. So I have no idea what the fuck that was about, but it's just your story reminded me of that.
Maybe he had the wrong idea and he's like, I really hate this kid named Brian. And then somebody was like,
who's Brian? You know, it must be that guy over there.
There's Brian. And then he was just sort of like, oh, okay. Fucking, you know.
Maybe someone paid him.
No, I have no idea.
Someone paid him.
That's it. Yeah,
somebody would have put a hit out on you.
Yeah, yep. I think so.
Got a hit. Yeah.
I stole somebody's markers, the good smelly kind.
Yeah. You like took 2 tater tots instead of 1 when you asked for it.
That's right. I got the last slice of pizza on pizza day.
Oh man, I'm eating pizza later on. I'm so excited for it. It's
fuck you.
It's not even good pizza either. I'm just eating Elio's, which is like school pizza.
It's still pizza.
If it
still is, yeah.
If it has eel in the name, it must be good.
I don't know. I've eaten eel sushi once, and I wasn't the biggest fan.
I like eel sushi.
Which, this is going to take a random aside, but why not? We're in the mailbag. We can talk about
what the hell,
random shit. I went crabbing once, and only once. And it was me and 2 friends of mine in like this little fucking canoe thing, and then a couple other friends in another one or whatever. And I was the only one that had never gone crabbing before. So naturally, I was the first one to catch anything. And they were just kind of like, fuck you, dude. Like, what the hell? How'd you do that? And I'm like, oh, it's just a gift, you know, whatever. And about like an hour after that or whatever, we caught like, you know, crab here, crab there, whatever like that. I pulled up the little cage and there's an eel inside. And I was just like, this is fucking awesome. And my one friend's like, throw it back. What if it's an electric eel? And like, dude, we're in Atlantic City. I don't think electric eels exist here. He's like, yeah, but I don't want to risk it. I'm like, you're an honor student too. Like, you're fucking retard. Like, I was thinking, like, I would have eaten it. Not like in the boat, but like, I would have tried it. You know, why not? But it's flopping around, and he's just like, dude, put it back. It's an electric eel. Oh, Bob. The hell, man.
Damn it, Bob.
So we didn't get to eat that eel that day. Let's go on to Peter Piccinini's questions here. First up, Tony, how are you doing after this hellacious month for you? How was sleep after that? Yeah, the day after WrestleMania, that Monday night, I don't know if I had like a low blood pressure or a high blood pressure thing. I was thinking like a high blood pressure thing, but I've kind of felt like sort of sick since the night after WrestleMania. And not like sick, like, I want to throw up or whatever like that, but I've been having like breathing problems over the past 2 weeks or so. And a lot of sleep issues and a lot of like whatever. So I think I need to get back into like sleeping a little bit more and all that. But I guess I'm feeling a little bit better because I can breathe a little bit. And,
can't talk, but you can breathe.
Yeah, but even in like the middle of this, like I'm like stopping to take like a deep breath and can't get a full deep breath in all the way. My asthma's kicked in, my allergies are bothering me from the fucking spring and all that kind of stuff. But I'm definitely not as stressed out as I was in March, because March was fucking awful with like, I lost track of how many things I did, but I know that there were like 5 movies I had seen. So each movie is 2 podcasts. So that's making the images, making the templates, recording it, editing it, posting the videos, all that kind of crap. And then you got to figure there's NXT TakeOver and there's WrestleMania, which is like a 7.5 hour show or whatever. And then I think I had written 37 articles that month or something, and like just awful.
Oh, jeez.
So April's been a lot better than March. So thank you for asking, Peter. I appreciate it. How are you guys doing today?
Who, us?
Us?
Yeah. Pretty good. Just trying to get my car up and running again. Cars suck.
Yeah.
I mean, they're great when they work, but when they don't work, what a fucking pain in the ass.
Even just paying for gas is an awful continual reminder that cars are a pain. How you doing, Angie?
Oh, pretty good. On Tuesday, I was helping move rock and mineral samples from a display case from the university's library back into the science building. And I guess when you hear people say, "Oh, lift with your legs," well, I have learned how to do that because I was lifting so many large, heavy boxes. My arms are fine. I pulled muscles in my legs doing it.
I was gonna. At least it wasn't your back, because that's what a lot of people do. Is they'll lift with their back and just throw out their back. That sucks.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
No, I hurt the muscles in my thighs doing it.
I am
and
so
they
mad
still
I
hurt.
can't think of a rock pun to go with any of this.
Ah,
It's really bugging me. I'm like, legs, stones, pebbles.
You'll think of one at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah, you'll get a Facebook message tomorrow and it'll be like, I got it, fucking shale or something like.
If you guys out there know any rock puns that would be appropriate at this moment,
drop them in the comments below.
And timestamp it so it's not like that foot pun thing that we can still never figure out what the fuck that meant. LOL at foot pun. I still don't understand what that was a reference to.
I don't know.
If you know what foot pun is, leave a
I don't know.
And we're not talking about the Urban Dictionary definition of it, because I'm sure it's some sexual thing.
It always is, isn't it?
Yeah. No matter what you look up, it's like, oh, this is when a guy. It's like, no, not everything has a sexual definition. Come on, people.
You're like, toothpaste. When you take a girl, okay.
I have a really funny story to go along with that. Some women I know were sampling different kinds of butters at this fancy restaurant, and they were looking up people's opinions on them, and they looked up duck butter and did not go to the proper website.
Yeah, they went to
find
Urban
out.
Dictionary.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
They found out what that duck butter is.
In your comments below, let us know what your favorite Urban Dictionary entry is.
So I threw out toothpaste as an example. The third one is a man's cum that's in a partner's mouth The fourth one is when your bra is too small and your nipple slips out a little bit, almost like when toothpaste is being squirted out of the tube. It's like there's...
Yeah.
Why?
Anything you look up.
Toothpaste is a game when 2 or more people go into separate rooms and masturbate. Like, it's like
Yeah.
of course. Of course. Like,
Of course, yeah. I have no doubt.
Duck butter, though. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, look it up.
Question, whatever we're on. I don't know. I'm not keeping track of this kind of stuff. Question number 412. Is Sheamus a face or a heel? I really don't know anymore. Definitely a face now. That's for sure.
He's a face. Well, he's just not. I'd say he's not really over as either. I don't know. He's a face, but I don't know. He's because people love to cheer Cesaro. But Sheamus, they're kind of meh about still, I would say.
No, I'm going to say overall in the company, he's a face.
Yeah.
But he is supposed to be the heel on the team.
Yeah, they're supposed to be the odd couple.
Exactly.
And he's supposed to be the...
He's the cantankerous one.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, he's the heel on the team, but he's a face in the world,
If you have to pick one, he's a face. He's just a heely face.
Yeah, that was one of those things where, like, he for a while didn't seem to really go that full face turn, and now they're treating him as just like a full blown baby face, and you know he's shaking hands with the Hardy Boys instead of kicking them in the face, and for some reason Mickie James turned babyface over the past couple of weeks or so.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure.
They never really explained it.
Yeah, she's just now. I noticed she's slapping the hands of the fans when they're way down to the ring, and it's like, okay, that happened, I guess, somewhere. So that's hard to keep track of. So that's why you don't see a Mickie James turn babyface post on the website, because I don't fucking know when it happened. Same thing for Sheamus. It was like a slow, gradual transition from everybody hates you to, oh, Cesaro doesn't hate you. And then Cesaro likes you, and then a couple more people like you, and now people don't chant "you look stupid" anymore. So.
Yeah, it's sort of like molded, like around him as the storylines changed, and it was slowly formed into what he is now, and no one really noticed.
If they had a mold, why would they pick that one?
Yeah, true.
He's not doing too well on that Sexy Superstars tournament thing right now.
No, I would say
with that hair.
Actually, he might have already been eliminated now that I'm thinking about it, based off of last year.
If not, I'm gonna go and vote against him.
Because I took out like Big Show, and I took out like nobody had voted for Titus O'Neil last year. Nobody voted for Curtis Axel, like that kind of a thing. So Sheamus might have been one of those ones that got a pre-elimination for the preliminary qualifiers. Question, whatever. With the recent NXT call-ups, only 3 names from the WWE 2K17 roster are still in NXT. Where and when would you like to see Asuka, Hideo Itami, and Blake and Murphy show up on the main roster? Blake and Murphy can get fired at this point. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not really into Blake and Murphy. I was digging it when they had Alexa Bliss with them, but since she's parted ways, to me they're kind of bland.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Murphy. Bland and murky.
Blake and murky. Yeah. Bland and murky.
Oh, I just remember. It was murky. Was that a joke? Okay. It just popped into my head for a moment. I was like, wait a second.
Blake, bland and murky.
Also,
I forgot about that.
Probably if you look it up in Urban Dictionary, it's something else too.
Mm-hmm. Hideo Itami, isn't he injured again already?
No, he's the #1 contender.
Well, yeah, that's for right now, but we'll see. He'll be injured tomorrow. We'll be out for another year and a half.
They recorded everything leading up to Chicago. So he's going to be the #1 contender for the next couple of weeks.
Well, then I hope he isn't injured.
Yeah, he has a match with, spoiler, by the way, has a match against Bobby Roode, and the 2 other championship matches have been determined too, although one of them might change because one of the people might be injured in one of those matches, so we'll see about that. But I think Asuka needs to go to SmackDown for sure. And I kind of want her to drop the championship at Chicago. So I kind of would like to see her come up after that. And maybe feud with Natalya.
I'd say Charlotte.
I think that they would wait for that. I think that's going to be like a WrestleMania thing.
Okay.
I'm just so afraid there are so many women wrestlers now, and it seems so often the matches are just 6 of them in the ring, and it's a mess. I'm afraid she's going to totally get fucked over if she comes to the main roster now.
Yeah, but
I'm so afraid of it.
It's kind of a point because there are so many talented ones that some of them are bound to be lost in the shuffle. You can't have, there's not enough time in the show or in the week on the programs to give everybody the spotlight that they deserve now that there are so many talented women performers. So,
and even Lana's back into the ring. So
yeah. So it kind of sucks that they often will do the, the 6-pack challenge or whatever. That's kind of annoying. I'd like to see some more well-developed one-on-one storylines. I'd like to see some better developed programs. And I don't want to see on pay-per-view. I know everybody wants to get a pay-per-view payday, but I don't want to see the, multi-woman matches every time.
Mm-hmm.
See, but the show itself, the company itself, you're not going to get 3 women's matches during one show.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Sometimes there's just not room for you.
They have so many now. They just keep throwing them in the ring, and it turns out being a mess most of the time, and it's sad. I don't want her to come up to the main roster yet.
This is kind of sort of spoiling something that could be a discussion for next week, but they're probably going to kill it anyway, so it won't even be a discussion or whatever. But with Roman Reigns' brother passing away, I was thinking the other day, I wouldn't mind them giving him payback off. And just having Braun Strowman beat the shit out of people backstage, or maybe have a match with Big Show. And if they didn't have him wrestle that match, the first go-to match that I was thinking about that I was like, they would end up cutting this and it wouldn't get on the card no matter what, but I would like to see it, is Emma versus Dana Brooke. Like,
yeah.
Why not have that? Like that
they're building up the storyline.
Yeah, and you know what? If you need to put that on the pre-show and move something other whatever like that, then put it on the pre-show. But like, as much as I like Braun Strowman, and I still do like Roman Reigns to a certain extent, even though I do think that they're kind of messing him up and everything like that, I'd be okay with that and just hold the story off until Extreme Rules, and then throw in like the Emma versus Dana Brooke thing, because we don't have some kind of a quota for the women's matches. We can have the women's championship match and something like that, and it's worst case scenario, it's a bathroom break match. You know what I mean? It's like So I'd like to see Asuka come up to a roster, and I think if she goes anywhere, SmackDown needs her more. And obviously, it's not going to happen until at least Chicago. Maybe not even until SummerSlam or so.
Yeah, so I was going to say I would wait until after SummerSlam for sure.
As far as today with Tommy is concerned, no, he needs to stay in there for a long ass time. That's we're talking SummerSlam 2018, I think.
Well, I wish him the best, and I hope he gets well soon and recovers and is able to return to the ring. Oh, he's not injured yet? Well, give it a day.
Shh. I think that might have injured him. It's like, ow, my ears. I need a month. Let's see another question here. Do you think Cena and Nikki are actually getting married? I'm convinced this is a total Bellas or wrestling show wedding. I think it's real. Yeah, but I think it's fabricated as well.
Oh, of course. Yeah, there's a kayfabe element to it. They are definitely a real life couple. They're definitely going to get married in real life. They're going to do it in some private ceremony that's not going to be on TV. But then, of course, they're going to do a TV ceremony, too, so somebody can crash it and something terrible will happen and they can make a storyline out of it. So it's going to be both.
Show up on time, and Bree's having a problem with this, and John has, I don't know, nobody can see him in the pictures.
Oh, yeah, this is real. Unfortunately, they are going to milk it for all the money in the world and all of the airtime they can get.
Mm-hmm.
And it's disgusting, and I think Cena's an idiot
because of married.
Because he's going to marry, just that kind of woman, the drama queen, total
diva, if you will.
Someone who would even be proud of calling herself a diva, and it's.
I don't watch any of like their YouTube content, but I did check out one video, and I hope that it's like true. At the same time, I hope it's not. They're doing some kind of a thing called Bella Brains, where Daniel Bryan asks them questions and they prove how dumb they are.
I was going to say, isn't that a contradiction? It's an oxymoron.
Well, his question for the thing that I had seen was about the Declaration of Independence. So he had 3 questions. One was, who created the Declaration of Independence, which took him like a couple of guesses, but they got it. One was name another person who signed the Declaration of Independence, and they got Hancock real quick. And the other one was name the 3 unalienable rights. And that was like all over the place. It's like
the right to bear arms, and
they did that one. They threw out love. It was just sort of like,
was the podcast, was it created just like they actually said, just to prove how stupid they are, or they actually want to prove how smart they are?
I think it's like the 2 of them against each other. Which one's the smarter?
Oh boy!
But then they're just proving that they really are.
Yeah.
I like even though it's frustrating to watch, I like stuff like that, or the old game show Street Smarts that they used to have, where or they do it on some of the late night talk shows like Jimmy Kimmel. They'll go and they'll talk to idiots and they'll be like, oh, so what do you like better, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I was just thinking that one.
And people like not realizing that it's the same thing. I like this one much better.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll go off for 5 minutes and then he'll tell them, well, actually, they're the same thing. Oh, the look of horror and just disappointment.
Yeah, Leno used to do that a lot. That was a good thing. And it's just like a standard kind of thing, but those are usually like, you feel better about yourself because you're like, oh, God, these people don't know it. At least I'm not that dumb. And then you go, yeah, but there's so many people in this video. And then there's the people that didn't sign their consent forms that were that dumb. And then there's like,
yeah.
And you're like, these people can drive and have kids and
vote.
Yeah, God.
That's the big thing. And vote.
That explains a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I do think Cena and Nikki are actually going to get married, though, but you're right, Angie. They're going to milk the hell out of this, and it's going to be a Hollywood wedding, and a lot of it's going to be bullshit. And
yep.
Get ready for your summer wedding, SummerSlam thing, or...
I was going to say, do you think the kayfabe wedding will happen at a pay-per-view?
That's tough, because they have that Total Divas and Total Bellas thing.
Well, because they've done them on both Raw and SmackDown before.
If they can get like a SummerSlam, or God forbid, like WrestleMania next year, and if they can kind of like chunk out a whole lot of time for that, I can see them doing that. It's definitely not going to be Raw or SmackDown. It's too big for that.
Oh, on a pay-per-view, the entire pre-show could be just it. They could just have the wedding for the entire pre-show.
You know what? Now that I'm thinking about this, instead, I can see them doing a special.
Ugh. Yeah, like, you're right.
No, they want to
have like a whole, like a red carpet kind of a thing, and like I can see that happening. Make it like a Hall of Fame sort of a thing.
Boo.
Then they can incorporate it into Total Bellas, Total Divas. They can have their own separate thing. It'll be on the network, so it's like, if you follow the E network, but you don't watch the WWE network, maybe you'll sign up for it because you really want to see the wedding live.
Well, I'm not going to be watching that, but I will go back and I'll watch the part where it all goes to shit, where somebody attacks them or somebody gets thrown into the cake or whatever. I'll watch that part, but the rest of it I don't give a shit about.
Don't mind me saying, but I'm sure Nikki is an attention whore, and she would want to be on one of the main shows or a pay-per-view to force all of the fans to watch it.
That could happen too.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a Smark announce table for it.
Have we ever done a live one?
No, we haven't.
Okay. That might be something.
I don't really know how to sort out a live thing yet. So that's the only thing that's hurting that. But
that's true,
I do want to do that. I do want to incorporate live elements, and that way we can get people to watch it at the same time too, where it would be like, we're going to start this at 8 p.m. on the dot EST. So everybody make sure that you set up your network and whatever like that. I want to do that. And I want to do that for Fanboys too. Have like watch party kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun.
Speaking of the red carpet thing, though, we've got, do you like on the Hall of Fame red carpet that real couples are shown? Do you want Cass to kick Ellsworth's ass for Carmella? I actually really love that they do that. I like the Hall of Fame as a non-kayfabe, like behind the scenes sort of peek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to keep storylines going. I want them to be themselves. So when you have Dean Ambrose talking to Renee Young, and he's just kind of like, I look good, don't I? And like, she's kind of like, you're a mess, and like, I'll talk to you later about that, whatever. And you get Carmella sitting down next to Cass instead of sitting down next to Ellsworth, pretending that they're a couple, or friends clapping for people that they're feuding with. Like, I like that kind of
that's
thing.
The stuff I like to see. Like, people you've been, told despise each other. Suddenly they're hugging and laughing with each other. Yeah.
I would say 9 out of 10 fans know that it's all a work. At least they should. It's 2017. So they don't have to keep up the ruse the whole time. Like you said, it's nice to sort of peel back the curtain and see behind the scenes, because they're people, they're performers. Mm-hmm. And so they don't have to keep up they don't have to keep up the lie 24/7. This isn't the 80s anymore, or, earlier. So just let them do their thing. Keep the scripted stuff and the storylines for the, pay-per-views, Raw, SmackDown, stuff like that. So I think it's cool. I like seeing that.
And you got something like the Total Bellas and Total Divas shows where it's like, it's reality TV, but it's scripted reality, because all reality TV is scripted partially.
Oh, yeah. And they creatively
I think
edit
it's sort of half
it.
and half. Like, they'll lose themselves in, the heat of the moment or something, but it's like a mix of real and not.
Right. Like Paige getting suspended. Like, she did get suspended.
Mm-hmm.
But then they go, well, we can have her maybe flip out, or like that kind of a thing, and whatever. And
yeah.
Even Ride Along, I think, is scripted to a certain extent.
I think they give them the prompts, at least.
Right. Like, hey, Jack Gallagher, you should kind of act annoying to Brian Kendrick. Wouldn't that be funny? Like, because you two probably shouldn't get along and all that.
Yeah.
And it was funny.
Here's a few lines,
it was
or
funny.
here's a few topics you should bring up.
Mm-hmm. So when you see stuff like that, it's like they're performing constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a fucking break. Let them use the Hall of Fame as something where they can just be themselves, and the fans are so used to these people anyway, so it's kind of like a breath of fresh air for the fans too, because it's sort of like we can all ignore the storylines and just kind of appreciate the performers for who they are, and not have to be like, yeah, well, I like Kane the performer, but I'm not a libertarian, so I don't like Glenn Jacobs or something. Like, it's just like, no, good fucking performer. Let's have Hall of Fame speeches. And, Jim Cornette even put his past aside with people in real life to do that kind of stuff. And it's like, I like seeing that kind of stuff. So seeing real life couples in a Hall of Fame to me is good. Nothing bad about it.
Yep.
And if you are getting confused, I don't know what to tell you. Some fans watching, and he's like, but Cass, no, that doesn't make any sense.
This isn't right.
How come Thea Trinidad is right there with Austin Aries and she's flirting with Andrade Almas? I don't understand this. Oh, spoilers for that too.
Cognitive dissonance.
I haven't heard somebody use that phrase in a while. I like that phrase.
Yeah.
What's this question? Do you think when WWE helps the Hardys become broken, they will attempt to buy Impact Wrestling their money after, I think? Do you think we will see...
Wait. Read that first sentence again, please.
Yeah, read the first sentence again.
All right. Sorry, Peter. Do you think when WWE helps the Hardys become broken, they will attempt to buy Impact Wrestling their money after, I think?
Okay. All right, I think... Okay, go ahead. Keep going. Sorry.
Do you think we will see another final deletion match on the Hardy compound in WWE? Do you think we see Matt's Zoo Animals or the Lake of Reincarnation in WWE? I have no idea what the fuck that is. So yes, we will.
Tony still has not watched the final deletion, guys.
I'm waiting until they do the broken Matt Hardy thing, and then I will do like a retrospective thing, and we'll do the Smark Announce table for that. Guaranteed, it'll happen. Unless they never do the broken Hardy gimmick. And
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe they might not do it.
I don't think they should.
I think they should do something different, because they've done that. They did the whole final deletion. I don't think they need to recreate it on WWE TV. I think that they should have something different, though. maybe along the same lines, but I don't think it should be the exact same gimmick because we've already seen that. Or at least, I'd say the, hardcore, quote unquote, internet wrestling fans, we've seen that.
Right.
I think something new would benefit them.
And they even tried to do like a little knockoff of it with that Wyatt family compound thing. So
yeah,
that didn't really go over super, super well with everybody loving that to where they wanted to do it again. And they want, at least in that poll, an option for the House of Horror match is that it could be a pre-taped kind of a thing. I don't think anybody's really going to vote for that, but
I'd be okay with that. I like when they try new and experimental things. It doesn't always work, but the fact that they're trying, I think, is a good thing. Because, introduce some new elements in it. Like, that's why I liked a Final Deletion. That's why I did like not as much as the Final Deletion, but I did like the thing between the New Day and the Wyatts. I thought that was cool. Because they're thinking outside of the normal box of just, okay, let's get in the ring and let's wrestle. So I like mixing it up like that a little bit.
Well, I think that they're going to do the broken gimmick in some fashion. Because I think that they're already alluding to it, and they can't do the Bullet Club, but we have the Balor Club, and we have the Club. So I think that they're going to be tempted to do it somewhere down the line, but
yeah, I think they'll do their own version of it.
That's the thing. I don't think that we're going to get... It's not going to be called a Final Deletion. It's not going to be... I don't know what the whole Lake of Reincarnation and stuff is, but it might not be as crazy, that kind of stuff, and it might be like, well, they're putting WWE spin on it, and people probably won't like it as much, because then that'll be like, well, they weren't as creative as they used to be, and like that kind of thing, and that might actually even be the reason why they won't do it in the future, because they might want to do crazy stuff, and WWE doesn't want them to, and then they go, well, you know what, if we can't go balls to the wall, let's not do it at all.
Well, people are going to complain no matter what, because if they do recreate the Final Deletion thing and the whole broken, then people are going to complain, oh, we already saw this.
Yeah, you're just copying.
Right. You're just copying.
Now you're biting Impact.
Exactly. So I think it would benefit, because I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that whole Final Deletion and Broken Matt Hardy. But I think that it would benefit them to do something similar, take some sort of turn or venture on that, but make it their own.
Yeah. Do you think that we are going to be getting a Shield reunion now that they are all on Raw? And do you think that this is the only way for Roman to get cheered? 100% guaranteed the Shield will team up again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Roman does get cheered, but only by the women and the children. Mm-hmm. And they know that. And I think that's why they refuse to turn him heel, because then their few loyal women wrestling fans won't like him as much.
I think it has more to do about merch sales.
No.
Yeah. I think it's a combo.
Well, yeah, it's a combo. They want to keep their women fans, and they want people to still buy them.
The kids buying the merch and the women audience, and stubbornness. I think it's Bruce Pritchard, I think it was, recently said the worst thing that you can tell Vince McMahon is that he's wrong, because then he'll torch the woods or whatever just to prove that he was right. Yep. And when people tell him Roman Reigns isn't who he won or whatever, it'll be like, God damn it, I'm going to prove to you that that's who you're going to get. And
I think that's why this has been going on for as long as it has.
Like
because of Vince.
Now? 2 years now? 3 years?
And it's just getting worse, or I don't know about worse, but it's getting more severe every single week.
Like when he left in the ambulance, the entire stadium. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Yeah, and that wasn't in the replays.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Yeah, they were ecstatic that he was leaving in an ambulance.
Yeah, they were cheering Strowman, giving him the beatdown. Like, what the hell do we have to do to get this guy over?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Strowman.
Strowman comes back. He's like, I'm not done with you yet. And people are like,
yeah. Yeah.
Instead of being like, you ban that guy. Like,
you're a monster.
Although there was a petition going around of
I saw that
Braun Strowman needs to get fired, and it's like, oh, those are the people that they don't know that it's fake and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You could hear the crane lifting the ambulance.
No, there was no reason why they didn't show the other side of the ambulance. There was no crane.
As far as the Shield thing goes, this is how I expect it to go. The Shield reunite, and the crowd pops.
Mm-hmm.
And in the middle of a match, Dean Ambrose starts it or whatever. fans are like really pro Shield against whoever they're going up against. I don't know who like would be a good fit. I mean, the club is the only thing I can think of really, but you'd have to turn Finn Balor heel, and that's not going to happen. And Dean Ambrose is fighting. Everybody's cheering for him. He tags in Seth Rollins. Everybody's cheering for him. He tags in Roman Reigns. Everybody starts booing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be.
Still not going to get cheered.
No. That's exactly what it's be. And I think that there will be a Shield reunion, but I think it's going to be short-lived this time. I think they will do one down the line. It's going to be short-lived, and one of them's another one, not Seth Rollins, but either Ambrose or hopefully Reigns turns on the other two. But I'm fearful that they're going to do an Ambrose heel turn on the other two members this time.
Fully agree with you. I think that there is a guarantee. Maybe it's not going to be the end of 2017, but by the time we get to WrestleMania next year, Ambrose is a heel.
Yeah, I agree.
100%. Just do the Samoa Joe feud first. Have him feud with The Miz right now. Go with Samoa Joe after that. Samoa Joe can win the Intercontinental Championship. And then Dean Ambrose can turn heel. And then you can get Dean Ambrose versus Finn Balor, and you can get Dean Ambrose versus... Who else is on that roster? Finn Balor again.
Yeah, I think Ambrose could pull off a good heel.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it'll light a fire underneath him, too, because, I mean, we're already getting the point where Miz is calling out the laziness thing that Steve Austin did, so...
Yeah.
It's a little dangerous there. Are the Smarkies the award show of the year, or is WWE holding the Slammy Awards this year? Was to shake up the draft? How would you do the draft? If not, I'd have the brands fight, winner gets picked. All right, so this is a loaded question. Fucking God knows what's going on with the Slammy Awards. That's pissing me off.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I haven't.
How long ago was the last one? It's been a while.
They were doing it in December.
Right.
So December 2015.
Holy shit, yeah.
Are they just trying to sweep it under the rug? Just like, yeah, we don't do this anymore.
I don't know. They made such a big deal about it before.
Mm-hmm.
It disappeared.
And it's a good thing. Like it gets the fans participating. It gets something on the network if you wanted to do it then. If you wanted to do it on Raw or SmackDown, you could do it then. Part of me thinks the reason why they didn't do it this year was because they don't know how they want to do it. Because they used to do it on Raw.
Right.
Because everybody would watch Raw and it was 3 hours. And with the brand split, you can't really just go like, well, I mean, look at that. I mean, I was just going to say, you can't really just go, well, this roster is the only one that gets it, but you're doing that with the Money in the Bank. So,
yeah.
They could do it on Raw, or they could do like a 50-50 split like the shakeup, which I didn't really like that all that much because it kind of spoiled some of the picks of what was going on and whatever, but just do a special. Just do it on the network. Have like a ceremony, kind of like the Hall of Fame. And they could have done it now, at the end of the year. They could have done it in the awards season with like the Oscars and the Grammys and Golden Globes and SAG Awards and all that other kind of stuff. But I still think they missed out on their best opportunity, which was either leading up to WrestleMania or the week after WrestleMania.
I think the week
after WrestleMania.
Yeah. A little after WrestleMania, I think would be a good time to do it.
Like that week that we had the shakeup, I think should have been the Slammy Awards.
Yeah, that would have made sense.
Because then from now on, the WrestleMania season caps off like the Slammy Awards are going to be from one WrestleMania to the next.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's been some good shit in 2016. You should give credit to like best catchphrase of the year, anything that Jericho said. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
So if they don't do the Slammy Awards anymore, it's going to be PWI and the Smarkies. That's it, essentially. As far as the shakeup being the draft thing, apparently the story going around now is that this was the draft. And that's why we had so many moves that were made. And the reason that they called it the Superstar Shakeup was Vince McMahon doesn't like the word draft anymore.
Oh, jeez.
So the other question is, how would you do the draft? And Peter was throwing out the idea of like the two people fight and the winner gets a pick or whatever like that. I never really liked that idea. I liked the idea that the general managers just pick people, because why would you want more competition on your brand?
I'd like to see the match. I'd like to see managers from both sides in a single room and them shouting at each other, trying to get the deals to get other guys and actually, maybe break out into a fight in this tiny little office room.
Like a stock exchange type of thing?
Yes.
That'd be kind of cool. I'd like that. Kellen, any draft ideas you think they should implement?
No, I think with the shakeup, I think that pretty much covered it. I don't think they really need to do another whole start from scratch draft. I think that would. I think this pretty much covered it. That would be overkill, I think. But then again, who knows? Maybe they'll decide to take some time and just make a big thing about it. But I don't think we really need it.
Here's the one little thing I would have suggested that they would have done. I think they should have done a draft. I think it should be called the draft. And it should have been essentially what we got. Maybe a couple little changes should have been different. Like, I still think that the New Day being on SmackDown is a little bit of a mistake because Enzo and Cass should have been on SmackDown instead. But whatever, we'll see what their plans are and stuff. But I think it should have been a draft. And later on in the year, when you get to the point where you go, oh crap, this person got injured and that changed plans and whatever like that, then I think you bring back the idea of a superstar shakeup and you make that a quote unquote random lottery.
Yeah.
Because that's called a shakeup. And it's like, this is the time of the year after Survivor Series or whatever, where the general managers don't get to pick like a draft. And who knows what can happen. And they're really nervous about, like, we're going to have that little tumbler or something, like that we do for the Royal Rumble, where we do like the little do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-bum kind of thing that we used to do.
Yep.
And, it's kind of like, how many things do you want to risk? Do you want to risk the idea that you might lose an AJ Styles because you're hoping that you might get a Roman Reigns? Or do you play it safe and you go, I only want 3 lottery picks this year? Like that kind of a thing, That'd be kind of an interesting way. And then, of course, they would script it all out.
Yeah.
So
of course.
That was one of the reasons why I never liked when they would do the random thing and they would, have everybody's faces flashing by. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
I know.
Right.
And come on, it's predetermined. Just, that's why I like how they did it when they did the picks, when they did the draft originally. We're going to choose this person. We're going to choose this person. Because that seems more legit. Yeah.
And like, why would you be like, well, okay, well, the champion is in the running to just get a lottery pick or something. And I think that's the way that I would have done it. It's like a little bit after, say you do the draft, like right after WrestleMania or something like that. Then a couple months later, when you're getting into like September, October, you do the shakeup and you replace just a handful of people. Just if you go like, well, Jack Swagger in the middle of the year moved over to SmackDown because they thought that it would be better for him over there. That would have been a move for a shakeup. And if Finn Balor gets injured again and you really need somebody on Raw and you've got 2 extra baby faces on SmackDown, maybe you move one of them over. And, kind of a way to do that and keeps things fresh. And you don't have to really do a whole lot. And you still keep the draft because I like the word draft. Why not?
You tell him, Tony.
Yeah. Listen to that, Vince. You jerk. Also, give me a job. You awesome man.
Wait, I thought you already worked for WWE. That's what all those people email you think.
I did get another one of those the other day where it was kindly put Roman Reigns in a something match or whatever, and it was like, you got it, buddy. What do we got here from Peter? With Z true comeback story, will Zack Ryder be holding gold upon his comeback? I think at TLC he's winning the WWE title. I hate to break it to you, Peter, but Zack Ryder's not winning that WWE title. No, I don't think that has anything to do with it. I
don't think he's going to win the title. But then again, just this past week, I was like, oh, there's no way Jinder Mahal is going to be the #1 contender.
That is true.
So crazier things have happened.
Oh, those veins.
He probably thinks that song is about him. There was a split second. I was like, I don't know if I should do this one.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
See, the sad part is that made my day. Like, I don't need to make any more dumb puns. I've met my quota. That was good enough, He might win some gold in 2017 with the comeback thing, because Ryder is still popular enough that he can win the United States Championship. But
yeah, I don't
have a ton of faith in it.
Oh, a mid-card title, I think he could hold again, but I don't think he's getting the top title.
There's too many bigger names on SmackDown. You got Randy Orton's keeping it for at least a little while. You got Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Baron Corbin is apparently in line for a big push, Dolph Ziggler. Zack Ryder's going to be mid-card.
Mm-hmm.
maybe even tag team again if they want to put him back up with Mojo Rawley. But those are the two titles I would watch out for. He's not winning the world title.
No.
But you know what, though? I like Ryder. They give him a world title, I wouldn't be like, oh, this is the worst. I'm not watching wrestling anymore. I'd give it a shot. I like him.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
What else do we have here? With the tag team division shaking up, which team from NXT or outside of WWE do you want to see on the main roster? I will cheat and say James Storm because Bobby Roode is with the WWE already, so Beer Money. If not, Decay because they already have Bray's lackeys. The only thing I could think of was Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels going to NXT. I'd like to see that. I don't really know a whole lot of... I like the Young Bucks. I don't really like the Young Bucks all that much. They're kind of cool, but they're not really as specialist as I think that they are, I think. I don't follow Ring of Honor at all, so I don't have a clue what those tag teams are. And
yeah, I'm not really too hip to the current tag team situation in other brands, so I don't really have a good answer for this one.
I'd definitely like to see some more Bray lackeys, though.
That's tough, though, because it's like, who do you put in that? They got to look weird. Maybe, like, Sanity becomes, like, part of Bray's crew or something?
That's what I was... That makes the most sense to me.
And DIY is going to go up to the main roster.
Oh, yeah. They should be on SmackDown.
Yeah, I think that they're going to SmackDown, pretty sure. Because SmackDown right now has the New Day, which they aren't going to be there for a little bit, an American Alpha, and no other baby faces.
Mm-hmm.
So you need another team in the mix, because you've got more than enough heels now with the Usos and with Shining Stars not being the Shining Stars anymore and getting a push, the Clones. But some a little bit more rumors that Carlito might be popping up, and yeah, DIY coming up from the main roster. I think that's a gimme.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of WWE, I have no idea.
No, outside of it, no.
I don't think that Authors of Pain should be on the main roster.
No, not yet. They need a while. They're good, but they need a while.
Mm-hmm.
At least until the point where Heavy Machinery can get like a feud with them, and it'll be a couple months from now.
It just still seems so green to me, though. I'm not buying it. I'm not believing it. And they're like physically intimidating, but I don't know. I don't get it.
Next draft, they're coming up, I think.
Yeah.
Not until then. But I think we still should get some more people that are on the main roster that just should tag up a little bit. Just, somebody's not doing anything like Curtis Axel, put him in a tag team. Just do it,
Do it.
Another question. John Cena has lost 3 times at WrestleMania. Cena's defeated The Rock and The Miz at Mania. Are we getting Orton versus Cena or a 3-way with Triple H to right his first loss? I don't think so.
Have we seen an Orton versus Cena program before in the past? I don't remember. Have we ever seen that?
Oh, geez. I don't think I've ever seen that.
That'd be a nice new fresh thing we could do. Oh, wait. We've seen it a million times.
Yeah, that can't be a WrestleMania thing.
No,
I think we're getting Cena Reigns next year. Unless we get Cena facing somebody else and Reigns is up against Brock Lesnar, which I really hope they just do that at SummerSlam. Because I don't want fucking Brock Lesnar holding that title for WrestleMania.
He doesn't deserve to.
No. Do it at SummerSlam. Make Reigns the top heel on Raw, or the top babyface heel, or whatever you want to call him. And as far as Orton's concerned, if we get Cena versus Reigns, which I think that's the money match more, because we've seen Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, nobody's going to care about that as much. Orton could fight Styles. He could fight Nakamura. I think he'll fight Baron Corbin, though, at WrestleMania.
I could see that.
I like Corbin, but I don't want to see that.
I'm thinking Styles, Nakamura, Orton, Corbin.
You see, it's still so far away. We're so far out.
A lot could happen.
Any kind of guess for me at this point would just be, a shot in the dark. So I have no idea. I'm going to say too early for me to really say. But let's please not do Orton versus Cena.
I think that's a guarantee, though, yeah. How do you think the New Day will work without Kofi? Will New Day be the longest SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions? They're just taking time off with Kofi. They're not going to be back for a while. Apparently Big E is doing weddings instead. And that'll be fine. Video packages and stuff. A little bit of time off doesn't hurt anybody.
And I think it might
tag team title thing.
As long as it doesn't go on for months, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think it might actually help them in the long run because even though they did just switch, I think it will help them when they come back, it's going to be fresher. It's going to feel like a new day.
Yes, it is.
So I think it's one of those, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So.
Yep.
Now, do you guys think that they are going to be the longest reigning tag champs on SmackDown? Because I think that that's a guarantee.
I don't think so. Not necessarily. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did it, but they did the Raw, but I don't see any reason why they would do it on SmackDown also. I don't think they've got that to prove.
Yeah, I never really thought about it, but
they've already proven themselves in that department. But, if they did it, I wouldn't be shocked.
All they have to beat is 84 days.
Yeah, okay, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, I could see him doing that.
Yeah, that's why I never really considered it, an accomplishment to be achieved.
Yeah. But then they can change that little intro and be like, your longest reigning SmackDown tag team champs.
Oh yeah. Well, in that case, with what they could do with it, I could definitely see them being the longest.
I forgot that the titles were so new.
Heath Slater and Rhino were 84 days, and American Alpha were 84 days.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wyatt Family was 23, and the Usos right now are at 29. So, yeah, 84 days. That's pretty easy to do, especially with the New Day being like top baby faces for that type of a thing, because you're really going to have the Shining Stars beat them. Like,
no.
I think it all depends on who they bring up, though. If they want to give somebody a weird twist, or they want to really boost up the Ascension or something odd, maybe not. But I think that they'll pass that 84 thing. They'll get to the 90-day mark, I think, at the least. Only 3 months.
Yeah. Oh, I could see them passing it.
My social class, we are talking about being...
Sorry.
Wait, what? My social class, we are talking about being and how not to be an asshole.
I wonder if they actually use that term in the class.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Like, the teacher walks up to the front board and it's like,
just writes all in caps, asshole on the board.
Right. Sociology 101, and then he underlines it, and then it's like the lesson plan, how not to be an asshole. But Peter's question says, why am I thinking about you guys the entire class? And then why didn't Kaylin come into mind?
Because I'm not an asshole, at least not on the show.
You're like...
In real life, I am.
I had written down the written section of this. I said, I've always said that I don't consider myself an asshole, but I'm definitely a prick. That's a phrase that I've been using for many, many years now, and I still think that it's true. And I said, Kaylin's probably the nicest out of all of us, outside of Angie and Caroline, so that makes a lot of sense, actually. Now I'm curious which one of us was at the forefront of the asshole brigade, as it could be pretty much any of us. Like, who was the first one when you're sitting in class going, I'm thinking about the Smark Out Moment people. Who was the one who was like, well, if it's how not to be an asshole, I'm going to venture a guess. I think it might have been Wego.
I was about to say, if we need one character in this group to be the asshole, it'd be Wego, because he's damn good at it.
I'd say in general he's probably, but when Shaun gets in a certain mood, he can certainly just let those words fly.
As well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of the same way. I tend to be nicer and more easygoing and try to get along with people, because the whole saying, you get more flies with honey than vinegar. Except that doesn't mean I'm a pushover. If I get to a certain point, if people try to push me and test me, I will fucking go off. I stand up for myself. I have no problem with that. But most of the time, I try to do things. I try to negotiate in a very professional way. I try not to be an asshole unless somebody pushes me to that point, and then I have no problem doing it.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I've had many, many people tell me Tony's too nice. And then I've had people go, well, you're a fucking asshole, aren't you? So, I don't know. Like, a friend of mine has lived in Vermont and he's lived in Texas, and he'll tell people stories of, like, my buddy Tony, my buddy Augie, like whatever, the people that, like, he grew up with. And everywhere he goes, apparently everybody goes like, wow, your friends sound like real assholes. So it's like, it's like a New Jersey thing where, like, the kind of stuff where it's like, yeah, we'd make fun of that. Like, why not? You wouldn't? Like, so I don't know. I wouldn't rule myself out, being somebody that you thought of in your sociology class or whatever, being an asshole.
I wouldn't call you an asshole. You're a jerk sometimes, but
yeah,
not an asshole.
I pick on Nia Jax and stuff, and it's like, yeah, I'm not winning any fucking Nobel Peace Prize things or something. There's no humanitarian award coming my way, but push comes to shove. I know when
you know when you can be a jerk and when you shouldn't be. How about that?
That's a good way to put it. I know where I can get away with it.
Yes.
Yep.
I was trying to explain the other day about like my tenure in high school and stuff, and it's like, I never got in trouble, but I did get those looks. I did get the teachers that'd be like, Tony, come on. Like, you really don't need to get a whole bunch of people to dress up in suits and call yourself that you're celebrating Dago Day and speak Italian all day. Like, that's when you're answering the questions with your hands and you're kind of like, oh, you better guns, and like it's kind of stuff like.
Oh my god!
But I'm not getting into a fight. I'm not throwing the kid through the window. Like, so Peter, you got to elaborate. Which ones were the ones that you were thinking of the most, and leave your timestamps to everybody else as well. Who's the biggest asshole out of the group?
And thanks for saying I'm not an asshole.
Another question here. With WWE making up with people, who do you want WWE to make up with next? Owen Hart's wife. That's my go-to. I want Owen Hart in the Hall of Fame. And I want him to go in at the same time as Davey Boy Smith and Jim Neidhart. They can all go in as the Hart Foundation because Owen Hart and Davey Boy are dead, and it's just depressing. And Jim Neidhart can speak, Natty can speak, Bret Hart can speak. They could all go in together. Maybe if you even want to throw in the other ones like Bruce or whatever, but I don't think that they really deserve it. Owen Hart's wife needs to be that next person, I think, because I can't think of anybody else that's really kind of like on the skirts. CM Punk,
that's long.
He can stew for a little bit, like.
No, exactly. That's what I'm going to say. As far as I want to see, that's what came to my mind was CM Punk, and I would like to see him come back eventually. I think it needs a few more years, though. It's still way too soon. The wounds are too fresh. I say give it at least another 6 to 8 years. Like, seriously, when
CM Punk starts getting desperate.
Well, not that he's getting desperate, but when he maybe reevaluates his priorities and whether he's going to hold his grudge above his payday and his fans and stuff like that. So
I'm not even giving it that long. I'm giving it like 2, 3.
Oh, Jesus, no. I disagree.
He seems like too much of an asshole for it to be that short.
Yeah, I think both sides have a little, I don't want to say growing up to do, but I'll say reevaluating their priorities. Yeah.
He's somebody I could see somebody thinking about in a how not to be an asshole class.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they did the Ultimate Warrior makeup. I'm glad Kurt Angle's in the mix now. Randy Savage, of course. It really sucks that he didn't get back into the swing of things when he was still alive. And but really, I mean, I guess you can kind of count Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
They clearly want him back, but it's not an issue of them being like mad at him. It's just sort of
they're not
PC enough for us to do it.
Exactly.
You fucked up.
It's not a good choice for them to do it, but they're not mad at him. They're not mad at each other.
Right. This one, you'll probably be better answering this one than I am, Kaylin. How are you doing catching Generation 2 Pokemon and Pokemon Go? I deleted the app after a couple of weeks.
I did get my first unknown the other day. This week.
Yes, we have unknowns now.
Which letters?
I believe it is the U.
The U?
Yeah, it is U.
Oh, okay.
So you just have 2 of the U ones. That's where
no, she has it. No. I just damn it, Tony.
If you were in another country, it would have been a V. It could have been W.
No, I've caught. I think there were 96 of the new ones in this generation, and I've caught 81 of them so far. So still working on a few. Still need my Typhlosion. I've got a couple of Blissies now, so that's cool. Got my Steelix. Don't have a Kingdra yet. That's one that I just have to get a few more horsey candy, and I can get my Kingdra. So there we go. So 81 out of 96.
I don't play it that much. Not that much. I have plenty of Generation 2 Pokemon.
I did love this event that we had. There was an event this past week of double XP, so that was cool. Yes, I still do play Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I haven't. I think the last time that I had played that was I let my niece play it around Christmas, maybe. for like 5 minutes, just because it was just like, shut up. Like, this will keep yourself busy, you know.
And in case anyone out there still plays and is interested, I'm level 35 now. But compared to my Valor friends that I talk to, I'm like the lowest level. They're all like 37, 38, and 39. So I'm the scrub of the group.
Which was the ones that were kind of considered the asshole ones? Was that Valor? Because that was the one that I was.
I think it depends on what part of the country you're from.
Mystic was the blue, and Instinct was the yellow. I think it was red.
In our town, Mystic, the blue, are the assholes because the spoofers,
yeah, they spoof
the cheaters.
All
it's ridiculous.
Over town. It's ridiculous.
But now it seems like some of the Mystic people have Instinct yellow accounts now, and
well, I mean, there's cheating. There's cheating on all three teams, but I would say most of it is blue. Mystic. So I'm not. Why are we talking about this?
I don't know.
Well, let's move to another question here. Who do you think will fill in for Booker T at Payback on the pre-show panel? I'm assuming he means. I think Jerry and Sam Roberts or Rosenberg.
I was right about to say Jerry.
Kyle's cousin Kyle. That's Sam Roberts?
He does kind of remind me. Now that you're thinking about that, yeah.
I think Wago said that first, so credit to Wago.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get Renee Young, Jerry Lawler, and either Sam Roberts or Rosenberg.
Yeah, it'll be Lawler.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And I like Booker just being there instead of Otunga. He's much more entertaining.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yes.
David Otunga's the worst.
He just sits there.
Well, when he does talk, he doesn't really add anything.
No.
It's just no personality. Just get the fuck off TV. I mean, he's off now, so that's
and
good,
very little fashion sense.
I don't want him to come back.
David Otunga's contributions are the equivalent of when Drew says, "Well, it's a match."
Yeah, basically.
It's just like, don't give him a mic.
Yeah.
What else we have here? Do you think Sin Cara is on SmackDown because Simon Gotch is gone? I hadn't thought about it, but you know what? Could be the reason why they switched him.
Yeah, never thought.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with Simon Gotch. I think it's because they switched the two luchadors, right? They switched Sin Cara and
but after they got rid of Simon Gotch.
So I think it was just to shake things up. And they're like, oh, well, we need to appeal to our Latino fans, so let's have the luchador on here, and you get the other one. And right now they use them interchangeably, so it didn't really matter.
I think the bigger thing is that they want Kalisto on Raw because they might put him into the cruiserweight division.
Yeah,
but I don't think it was like the big like. Well, now that we got rid of Simon Gotch, now we can finally put Sin Cara on SmackDown. So,
yeah,
maybe not. Last question for Peter. Did you know Dean and Renee were engaged? I had no idea. Do you think we will see a secret wedding on Total Divas? Do you think they named their dog Blue after Blue from Blue's Clues? Didn't even know that they had a dog. Do you think that Dean enters WrestleMania 34 with the Intercontinental Championship and breaks Honky Tonk Man's record? All right, so another loaded question here. I did not know that they were engaged. Did you guys?
I want to say yes.
Well, they're married now.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So,
I knew about that.
They got married back in October 2016 or something like that. But I know they've been married like 6 months. And they kind of kept it secret, which I can understand.
Which is why they're not going to have a wedding on any of the shows.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be made part of the storyline. I don't think we're going to see a wedding on TV, either on any of the main shows or on any of the reality shows. I think they're just kind of going to let them do their own thing. And I hope that's the way it is anyway, because we don't need a John Cena, Nikki Bella kind of extravaganza. That would be ridiculous.
The dog with the Blue's Clues thing. I don't know, maybe.
See their dog. I mean, if their dog is like a really nice shade of gray to,
I was going to say, I don't think necessarily, because people have been naming dogs Blue long before that show ever came out.
If it's a cartoon dog, then yeah.
If he solves crimes and mysteries, perhaps.
I would think more so that they named him after old school. The whole, "You my boy Blue," that kind of a thing. Because I could see Dean Ambrose liking that movie.
Maybe they named it after that Eiffel 65 song from the 90s.
I hate that I love that song. I have like 4 versions of that.
I'm just going to sing that song for the rest of the podcast.
New outro.
Or maybe the dog has blue eyes.
Maybe. Do dogs have blue eyes?
Yes.
Huh. I'm just realizing now, I've never really looked at my dog's eyes. As far as the Intercontinental Championship, no, he's not breaking the Honky Tonk Man's record. He's not keeping that.
Nope.
And I mentioned earlier, I want to see him drop it to Smojo.
Yeah, he's not keeping it.
I got a question from Ivor Allen or Ivor. I don't know for sure. So timestamp, let me know. Since the Universal Championship is likely not to be featured on Raw until at least SummerSlam, is it possible that another belt is introduced, like when the Undisputed Championship went to SmackDown in 2002? I'm a big gold belt fan. I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I agree.
If they do, I don't think it'll be a world title, like TV Championship or something weird like that. But maybe the Raw Championship, I
don't think they're going to do that. I think they'll just elevate the status of the mid-card titles.
Yeah, and I think they'll focus a little bit more on storylines. But I'm still hoping, at the very least, that SummerSlam is when he drops the title. And you know what? Even though I don't like the idea that we're not going to get a title match until SummerSlam, that's a hell of a lot easier of a pill to swallow than waiting until WrestleMania.
No, have the title matches, just have them retain.
Well, I mean, having just SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, that kind of thing.
Right.
Like, if you're only going to have those, that sucks and I hate it. So have him lose the belt at SummerSlam, and then we can keep it with Roman Reigns going forward. But, yeah, I don't like the whole waiting and doing all that kind of a thing. But if we do have the title change at SummerSlam, we only got to wait until August. So they can get around it without needing another belt.
Yeah. I will agree.
And we got the final 2 questions here from Mo Huerta. Do you think the Shining Stars can and should be taken seriously as a tag team if Carlito comes back and becomes their manager? Well, this week, they dropped the Shining Stars gimmick, and
It's still on their ass.
Really?
On their costumes.
Oh, they need to get new ring gear then.
Yeah, they keep mixing up what they call them. Now they're just the Colognes or Epico and Primo, or what are they calling them?
They're going by the Colognes now. And
Shining Stars were still on their asses, and I laughed.
And their theme is like slightly different, but still basically Shining Stars theme, which they could have kept that. It was a good theme. But if Carlito comes back, that's going to help them a lot because they really need a mouthpiece.
Drastically, yes.
Oh yeah, it would.
Carlito has
they'd be able to change enough to get out of the Shining Stars.
Mm-hmm. He would give much more of a presence to that group. I think having them there would help them tremendously.
And for my money, I think you should just get rid of Epico. Like Carlito and Primo together were better.
I could see that, but I don't think they'd abandon that. I think before they do that, they just have them as a 3-person group.
You know what's making me more than anything think that Carlito's coming back? Plus, I mean, well, more than anything is the fact that it's the Colognes. That's like, you're bringing out the idea of Carlito Colon and all that, but they did just bring the New Day over, and it's a 3-person team.
I didn't think of that until, yeah, that'd be interesting.
So, I mean, it's not the craziest prediction in the world, but if the New Day beats the Usos for the tag team titles, I think by SummerSlam we're seeing Carlito come back, and it's going to be the Colognes against the New Day.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, so would I.
And our final question of the whole thing: what is the best way to repackage Tyler Breeze to become a decent mid-carder instead of a jobber?
God, I've been wondering this for over a year.
Yeah, it's so sad. I loved him so much.
Yeah, he was so good on NXT.
That's why I would say he doesn't even need to be repackaged. They just need to push him.
Yeah, just book him stronger.
That's all they need to do.
For that matter, Fandango too. I like the Fashion Police. They're fun.
Yeah, all they need is decent matches.
Mm-hmm. Bring up DIY. Keep them in that, like, they're going to be the number 3 team because the New Day is going to be number 1, American Alpha is going to be number 2, and then DIY is the 3rd babyface team. You got the Usos, the Colognes, and Tyler Breeze and Fandango. And then the Ascension is somewhere in there, but I just push him. That's all you got to do. They don't need to repackage him. He doesn't need to be a different character. He doesn't need to get a name change. He doesn't need to break up with Fandango. He could just be the same guy.
Let him get some wins.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
If the company wanted them to succeed, they easily could. Look
at it this way. Jinder Mahal is getting more attention now than he ever has. And the only reason why, they gave him a win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same thing with Mojo Rawley.
Yeah, Mojo Rawley is now getting people telling that they want him to be the Intercontinental Champion or the United States Champion or the whatever, and it's like, people don't still really even like Mojo. But they gave him a big win at WrestleMania, and now he's a legitimate contender for something.
Yep.
If he won the United States title from Kevin Owens down the line, I would not be shocked. And that's crazy, because it's Mojo Rawley.
Yeah, if you would have said that 3 months ago, I would have thought you were crazy.
I would have said that the night before WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think Tyler Breeze has the tools. They just need to let him use them.
Yep.
So that was a big edition of the mailbag. And I want to thank everybody for listening through that whole damn thing and for leaving your comments below with all those timestamps of your answers for all these questions and stuff. So let us know what you think. And if you have questions you want us to answer for the next mailbag, which obviously will be in May, but I don't know exactly when because May is going to have like a couple pay-per-views and stuff. So maybe around like the 20th or so, like that. Start sending them in whenever you got them, and I will backlog them, and we will answer them when we answer them. And if it changes a whole lot, like the Shining Stars question was, completely different basically over 1 week from the next, then we'll answer what we need to and whatever like that. But last thing for us to take care of here is just some plugs. So Kaylin, anything you want to toss out?
Yep, I am on Twitter at Kaylin Ferris, although I don't post there very much. I still do check. Let's see. If you're in Toledo or Ohio or Michigan or Indiana or Pennsylvania, anywhere in that area of the country, make sure you check out Northwest Ohio Wrestling on Facebook. We got a show coming up May 6th. It's going to be an excellent show. So make sure you grab your tickets for that. Northwest Ohio Wrestling.
Angie, anything on your end you want to toss out?
No, except everything that Kaylin just said.
And for the rest of my stuff, everybody, obviously, if you are following the channel, subscribe, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Smark Out Moment, follow the website itself. You can subscribe to the RSS feed if you want to get instant updates of whenever a new posts come up on some different content, because we get some stuff on the website that you can only find on the website, Battle of the Brands and the Women's Wrestling Weekly and so on and so forth and everything like that. And for you to also pay attention to that Sexiest Superstars tournament that's going on, the link is on the sidebar if you can't find it elsewhere. It's also on the homepage, the little sliders, got a little tournament notification thing for that. We're on the qualifying round, so these votes are important to determine who can join the bracket. These are probably like some of the most important votes to do. And it's all going to be up to you guys because I'm not picking everybody. So vote while you can. I don't know when I'm going to stop the ability to vote because I want to give it at least maybe a week or so, but we'll see what happens. Maybe on the fly, I'll just kind of be like, nope, it's over, So vote while you can for that, and then we'll start getting into round 1, round 2, round 3, and kicking that off for the next 6 weeks or so. And follow Fanboys Anonymous content. I mentioned at the beginning of this that we're going to be doing a Fan Tracks audio commentary, which is basically our Smark announce table for that. We're going to be doing it for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 because Volume 2 is coming out soon. So if you are interested in that kind of stuff, check out Fanboys Anonymous all over the place on YouTube and blah, 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 blah. Leave us a positive review on iTunes. I don't know. Join the Patreon account. All that crap with the Ask Him. Listen to that. I talk about all this stuff every week. I really should record it one time, but I don't. I keep fucking re-recording it. So that'll do us in for this week for the Smark Out Moment podcast and Smack Talk content in general, everybody. Thank you for checking us out, and we will see you next time. This has been another Smark Out Moment, and we are being counted out.